So, Nikolai, just like with Federico, it has been 6 months since our last interview, and it was uploaded beginning of January. So, I think coming up to 7 months now, actually. So, how comes you didn't reach out to me to say, "Hey, Rockus, a lot has happened. Why don't we do that follow-up interview? Why did you just ignore me for 7 months?"
Well, I just had nightmares about all the bad things that could happen if I did so. Like,
Oh, social
you
anxiety,
finding
right?
out our location and like sending someone to our house or something like that.
Right, but you went to a Shaolin temple with monks. So
Yeah,
there's
I had
no
to
way you
escape.
can be afraid, right? Aren't they like hiding in corners in your house just to make sure any intruders that come in, they can like ambush and protect you? Are they not ninjas?
Just in a circle around the house. If
Yeah.
anyone shows up, they'll just find like a circle of monks with just bald heads,
Yeah.
like above the horizon. And they'll just
Because
run
you're part
away
of the
immediately.
brotherhood now, right?
Huh?
You're part of the brotherhood now, right? So all for one and one for all.
Yeah, I suppose. They call it the Shaolin family at the temple. Kung Fu
Yeah.
family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like in
Okay,
Kung
so
Fu now.
now getting serious. When we done our last interview, you said you went from homeless to learning copywriting out of your car and eventually earning 10,000 a month in income. And it was also the first month that you were in Thailand in this mansion that you're in now. I don't think the others had arrived yet. You were the first one. So since then, how has everything developed for you?
Man, life has moved, feels like it's moved very slow and very fast at the same time. So much has happened. It's pretty crazy. The experience of living with brothers, because now everyone else has arrived in the house and we just have such a strong bond. It's almost like a miracle, like how we just all met in the real world and ended up here. I was talking with Sad just a few minutes ago before the interview, and realized like we've never had a fight. We've lived together 6 months, never fought once. Only time I fight is like when I actually fight, when I go in the ring and fight with my hands. That's the only time I fight. Otherwise, my life is very like peaceful. I don't have to worry about bullshit like most people. Life's changed a lot. I'm training with world class trainers, world champions. Can't get much better than that. And the business taken off quite a lot. We went from basically working in freelancer mode to working more as a team. So me and my brothers, we do everything as a team, and we scale our clients together, and we think about how to scale all the systems and making billions in the next few decades, conquering the earth, becoming the intergalactic emperors of the universe, and then scaling to whatever universe is outside of this universe.
Okay. And makes sense. I won't question that. That's good to hear. And when you said, pardon?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention becoming real life Super Saiyans. It's also one of the goals of mine.
Okay. All right. So yeah, completely logical. I won't question it. Good. That's good to hear. Yeah. So in terms of becoming a Super Saiyan, what's your plan for that?
Well, I've already been to the Shaolin Temple, hanging out with the monks, and there I've learned a lot of secrets of the chi and the Kamehameha blast. I'm competing in Muay Thai World right now, and the amazing thing about the Muay Thai World is that nobody can see chi. They haven't learned it. They haven't been with the monks. So if I Kamehameha blast a guy in the middle of a match, they're gonna think I just like did a cross and knocked him out, but it's not true.
Mhm.
I'm cheating.
Wait, don't they consider it a slip then? Or is that not a thing in? I know in boxing, like, if you slip, it doesn't count. So if he just out of nowhere kind of falls, don't they just think it's a slip?
Uh nah, nah. No,
Checkmate.
I tricked them. I tricked them.
Oh, okay. Everyone. Okay. So you have mind control and Kamehameha powers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those
Okay,
are the
got it.
main attacks.
Damn, you learn a lot in the Shaolin Temple, huh? That's crazy. So, okay, tell me more about that experience in the Shaolin Temple. We heard some stuff from Federico back in interview 200. What was your experience of it?
Yeah, it was a very interesting experience. The headmaster there, especially, is a very compelling and interesting individual. He has a lot of what do you call them? He has a lot of the same traits as as the top professionals you look at it in any other endeavor. I think that at the top of achievements, people are just the same. Like, you know, Tate's quote about indefatigability. Yeah, I'm not as smart as him. I don't know big words. Indefatigability, yeah, and perspicacity makes me a fair opponent in any realm of human endeavor. He says something like, never give up and have kung fu eyes, and then it's like basically the same stuff.
Exact same quote.
Yeah.
You know what? I think Tate might have stolen it from the Shaolin headmaster, that quote, just in his own words.
He started talking about Qi now. Of course, he stole that from the Shaolin Temple too. Qi was invented in the Shaolin Temple, actually.
Yeah. Aikido. Did you learn Aikido?
No, I didn't. They don't teach Aikido there. It's one of the secret dark arts, so you have to like go on a long pilgrimage to the other side of the earth.
Damn.
But also, I learned a lot about, I would say, stress tolerance at the temple, because I'd consider myself very devoted to professionalism and perfectionism and doing everything at the highest level possible, performing at the highest level possible. And that led me to obsess about every single little mistake that I made throughout my days. But I found that eventually the mistakes piled up, and because I was in my head thinking, I became less present and I became less focused, and then I made more mistakes. One of the masters at the temple, they said something like, you have to know how to forget about stuff. Like, you make a mistake, you have to learn how to sort of forget about it, and then you can find a way to solve it later. So I tried that and just write down all my mistakes now. And if I make it, okay, I made a mistake, but I'm busy, right? I have stuff to do. I have to perform. It's like, let's say I'm in a boxing fight and I'm getting punches thrown at me. I get punched one time. I'm like, shit, I got hit in the face. I'm so angry. I'm just going to keep getting hit if I'm just in my head about it. You need to forget about it and just go with the flow, go with the war. And then I can solve stuff later. And I also learned to, just kind of forget about things when I don't need to think about them. Like, I don't worry about different clients, and I don't go around thinking about stuff I don't need to. I use all my mental energy very consciously. And I only use it when I'm actually working on it. Like, if I'm going to think about a fight I have, then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to strategize about it. I'm going to think, okay, how am I going to fight? What strategy am I going to use? I'm not going to walk through my day and think like, because I'm focused. I have stuff to do. That's one of the biggest things I learned there, and super valuable. And yeah, it's very interesting atmosphere, and some of the monks especially, they just have that very strange calmness about them. You just realize like they know something. They have some mental mind secrets of the universe. So that stuff's real.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So what you spoke about initially, it just seems a lot of it comes down to being present in the moment, no?
Yeah, but when you say it like that, it sounds kind of lame, doesn't it?
Oh, okay. I see.
You just have to be in the moment, present.
Yeah.
And then you will understand the universe, the one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, are you saying it's
No. That's my whole life philosophy, of course.
Yeah. Oh, but right. But in order to explain it to others, you can't just say the same thing that they always heard. You have to go more in depth so they understand it.
Yeah, and I think that most of the people who do preach that message are preaching more like theory and jargon, and they don't really know what they're talking about. They're just kind of mentally masturbating. Oh, the moment. I don't think they really have any substance to what they're saying most of the time. They're just kind of words.
All right. I mean, you have the experience to say that because you learned from one of the, like, this is being serious now. You learned from one of the most based, I don't know what to say, most based people on the planet, because he's been meditating. I'm guessing, yeah, they do meditation in the Shaolin Temple, right? Or is it more through fighting that they meditate?
Sure. I don't know if all the masters do it. I know the headmaster does, and we spoke a bit with him. He's very interesting. Like I said, he speaks in metaphors all the time, like poems.
So like you can find all the answers to the universe within yourself.
Yeah, like stuff like that, like Tales of Buddha on emails. If anyone reads that, that's how we speak all the time. So yeah, it's very interesting. But no, he mostly trains like 9 hours a day. Doesn't have a lot of time for meditation, you know.
Okay, got it. So yeah, but when you dedicate your life to something like that, then you end up being one of the highest performers just mentally in the world. So yeah, you can, the things you've learned from him, you can actually say that comparing it to other people, it does seem like they're just mentally masturbating. So it's completely valid, not even exaggerating. Yeah. Okay, so interesting perspective there. Any more stories? Like, give me a story that stands out to you. We had one from Federico. I like one from you as well, from your experience in the Shaolin monastery.
Something else, man. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know what to pick from. This is a kind of silly example, but there was this little kid monk there, like Chinese kid, barely spoke any English. It was like 13 years old or something. And there are other students there from all around the world who do speak English, and this kid is like trying to talk to all of them. He obviously can, but he still tries. And someone taught him how to say Federico's name for some reason. And because he's Italian, you're smiling. Do you know this story?
No, I don't. But this is looking interesting.
Well, because he's Italian, the guy who taught him to do like this and say Federico, like an Italian accent, every time he says the name. So all the time, like all day, this guy was just, whenever he saw Federico, would just run up to him, Federico, and just like cry it out. Everyone would just start laughing. And he would do it to the point where it would get severely annoying though. It was like, Federico. And he even started doing this thing where he said, Federico. And then he said another guy's name, let's say Michael, Federico. And he just fucking like smashing, like as if just saying Federico is the best. Federico, like, he got the biggest fan in the world at the Shaolin temple, man. And there was one night, especially, that was really funny because me, Federico, and a disciple of the headmaster, we were standing on the staircase in the evening, and we were just talking about a lot of different stuff, our perspectives on life and stuff like that. And while we're talking and we're deeply immersed in this conversation, we hear distant, faint steps in the darkness. So we're standing on the staircase, and then there's the hallway of the temple, and it's pitch black. It's dark. Then we hear like a few steps our direction. And we're like, who's that? We turn our heads. Then we see the Chinese kid. His name is Ningling, emerging from the darkness. We see his figure emerging. Oh, it's Ningling. And then he stops right before the staircase, and he says, Federico! Just like crying in the middle of the night. And he turns around, and then he goes to bed.
He couldn't sleep without seeing Federico.
No, he couldn't, bro. It was like, okay, I brushed my teeth. Oh, wait, Federico, I gotta go out.
I haven't said Federico in the past 30 minutes. I need to go back. I can't sleep otherwise.
Yeah, that kid was fine. Yeah.
That's nice. I like that. Very cute. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I won't ask for more stories from Shaolin Temple because I'm sure we could sit here for hours with you saying all the stories. So we'll do every follow-up interview, maybe a few stories from back then. That would be cool to hear. Now, I know you had a fight very recently, Muay Thai fight. What was that about?
Yeah, so when I arrived in Thailand, my goal immediately was to start training and to train like an animal and become a professional here in Thailand. Then I got an injury for a while. I had to stop training. But I started training with a new coach here and trained for a while before going to China. And he saw that I was training really hard. And it's very easy to tell most of the time, like who's about it, who really wants to fight, and who's just like, I'm just here to lose weight and like take an Instagram video and be like, look at me. And the guy could tell I was serious. So he just pulled me aside like, Nikolai, you want to fight Muay Thai? Yes. Then he pulls out his phone. He has a calendar. This is like after training with him for like 1.5 months or something. He has a calendar like, okay, you fight this time. I'm like, I'm in China this time. Oh, you're in China. Well, okay, you fight this time. And then it's like 2 months later than the first day. And I didn't really know anything about the fight. I didn't know who I was going to be fighting. I didn't know what stadium I was going to be in. But I returned from China and started fight training. And fight training was hard. It was brutal. And he told me on the first day of it, like, okay, now you're going to strike and punch and kick with power, full power every time. Doesn't matter how tired you are. Doesn't matter if you don't want to. You're going to find energy. You're going to punch with power every time, every single time. On top of that was also a lot of running and a lot of sparring with people, coming home bruised every day. And it's the sort of pain that feels, of course, it feels like shit. We also feel good because it feels fulfilling, like you're really working hard at something. And then I found out which stadium I was going to be in. I found out my opponent. I saw myself on all the posters in the city. I felt like a celebrity. Of course I am, but I remembered it, right? Okay, this is who I am. And then the fight was in a few days. And it was a very interesting experience. And it ties back to the mental lessons that I've been talking about earlier that I learned at the temple. Because it was a lot about not focusing much on it when it wasn't necessary. There was no reason to worry about the fight for me when it wasn't necessary. I just trained as hard as I could. I ate right. I slept right. And I thought, okay, that's all I can control. That's all I can focus on. When I'm not doing all those things, I'm just not going to think about it, whatever. So I did that and it worked. I slept very well before the fight. I sort of prepared for that because I remember other fighters talking about nights of getting no sleep at all because you're laying awake just thinking about the night and about the fight and they're just too worried or too excited to sleep. I thought, okay, that's not going to happen to me. I'm going to get... Oh, now it's the rainstorm that I was talking about. Funnily enough, there was a rainstorm on the night before the fight. You can probably hear it now. It's a pretty crazy rainy season. Sunny Thailand. Guys.
That's quite something in the background.
Yeah, you can barely probably hear it. Rokas ran away from the UK to get away from rainy weather. Like, yeah, no, sunny Thailand. It's tropical paradise. Most of the time, yeah. Other times, just... Yeah, it's a little sore.
Other times you're just walking on the street and you get blown away to China before you know it.
Yeah. All of a sudden, like you just get blown off the road.
Whoa. Next thing you know, whoa, I'm in the mountains in a temple. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was a rainstorm also on the night before the fight. And whenever I started feeling too excited about the fight, when I was laying in bed, whenever my mind started thinking about it, I woke up and I went here to this office because my bedroom is over there. And I just opened the doors, I just listened to the rainstorm, emptied my mind, and I went back to sleep again. And I think I did that 4 or 5 times to return to my mind, and eventually I just slept like a baby and it was all fine. The next day, it's obviously the same thing. Like you have a fight on that day and it's all your mind wants to think about. Oh, you have a fight, you wonder what it's going to be like, it's going to be cool, blah, blah, blah. But I continued to do the same thing, just focusing on, I had work that morning, I had marketing stuff I had to create, so I just focused on that. I remember when I was driving to the gym to meet my coach and go to the fight together, I started feeling like these jolts of energy that arise in my body. And I think that's the same jolts of energy that people categorize as anxiety or as fear. Like the energy starts there and then it like in the mind, oh, I didn't let that happen. I just kept my mind empty and just, okay, electricity is pumping into my body so I can become powerful. This is chi. God is giving me chi so I can blast my opponent. This is the Kamehameha blast. I'm getting the required energy that I'm going to need to blast him. That's what I was thinking. I was smiling like a maniac while driving to the fight. I was just smiling, our coach, I meet with the coach, and then my brothers come later, and we all go there together in his car. And we're just sitting in the car, laughing, talking shit like usual, having fun. And we did that for the rest of the whole night until I stepped into the ring. We were just talking shit, just laughing, making jokes, not taking anything too serious. And yeah, it's like you say, I focused on just being present and in the moment. I didn't let myself think too much. Even when I entered the stadium, I just opened my eyes and forced myself to just see everything and just not be in my mind at all where my thoughts are, just be fully focused outwards and just receive the energy, just go with the flow. I'm saying a bunch of shit that sounds cliche, but I actually lived it, so it's not cliche.
If you're about it, you understand. It ain't cliche.
Yeah. If you've lived it, then you'd understand how it feels like. But yeah, that's how I continued the whole fight, the whole night. I mean, even when I stepped into the ring, I continued just letting that energy just make me powerful. And there's even a picture of me. I posted it on Instagram of when I'm walking around the ring before the fight starts. I just have my eyes closed, just walking around. I'm chilling. I'm just chilling. And did the fight, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. It was so incredible. Like the electricity, the amount of energy you feel. I'm gonna say something haram now. So in my previous life, before I became a saint and all of this stuff, I took some drugs sometimes. Yes, I was not a perfect individual. And I have to say now that I'm perfectly clean. I don't do any of that stupid shit. That was like way more powerful than drugs. That was way more intense. That was so much more energy and just power. And it was amazing. So yeah, that was the fight. That was the fight experience. Incredible experience.
Damn. And I saw you got a gold medal for it.
Yeah. Also got paid. I got 4 figures.
Ah, yes.
Why
There's
you
a
laughing?
catch. But
Why
there's
are you
a catch.
laughing? Okay, it's Thai money. I'll admit it.
Huh? Nah,
It's
wait.
Thai money, 4,000 Thai dollars. So
But
it's
they're called what?
like 4,000 baht. It's called. So it's like
Bucks. Yeah, exactly. You
$150.
got $4,000. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, $4,000.
Yeah. We can run with that story. Sure.
Nice. So,
Yeah.
on your way to becoming world champion Thai fighter,
Yeah.
what kind of a stepping stone was this?
I mean, it's just one step. That's how I view it. I remember thinking this in my mind when my coach said to me, it was kind of funny. Like, he was preparing me not only for how to train, but also the lifestyle. And he said, before fight, their English is not like perfect. Before fight, no drinking, no smoking, no fuck, no fuck. After fight, okay, you can fuck, you can drink. And I was thinking, like, well, I'm not just training for this fight. I'm training for the next 100 fights. So it's not like I'm gonna win this and then just go and get drunk or whatever. I'm gonna win and show up and train even harder. It's now my body is tougher. I can handle more now. So that's how I view it. It's just one step on a very, very, very long journey. I view myself as doing it for at least a decade, maybe 15 years. We'll see. But yeah, it's just a small step.
Okay, very interesting. So, I'm happy to wrap up with the physical part there. Thank you for that story. I'd like to know more now about the business you guys have created and the clients you've acquired. Whatever whatever you can reveal. Obviously, if it's confidential, it's fine not to say.
Yeah. Well, people know about the Shaolin Temple now. I don't know if I can say that much about any of the other people, but I can talk about how we structured our business.
Mhm.
It's not really the same model that I used to work on when I was a freelancer, where I'd have a monthly retainer, and it would be, let's say, 3,000 to 5,000 per month, something like that, and they pay that every month for a certain amount of work to be done. That's a cool way to start. That's a cool way to build a baseline, but it's very hard to become a millionaire with that. type of approach. So what we do now is we take on growth clients. So we look for clients that have all the building blocks in place where we see, okay, these people can really scale, these people can really go big. We just need to do everything for them when it comes to the marketing side. And the ideal clients there are people who they have a fantastic offer, they're really good at what they do, and they have very deep messaging, but they don't know about money, they don't know about marketing and stuff like that. Like Shaolin Temple, bro, they just want to train kung fu and be monks and stuff. They don't want to be like, oh, I would build a funnel. They don't care about any of that. So clients like that are very ideal, and I would look for those type of clients as well if you're a freelancer too, because those clients are a lot easier to take over for, because they a lot of the time just want to do what they love and what they're good at, and they're very happy if you can show that you're competent at the other side and you can be a great team. So that's the type of clients we have now, and then we have them on contracts for revenue share, and we just want to scale these businesses to 6 figures per month, 7 figures per month, and become millionaires together with these clients. With some of them already are, but that's essentially the plan. And then in the future, me, Sad, Federico, Belen, we're all running this business. We're also starting to build out a team now so that we can, start working in the business and start working more on it and the systems and automating the whole thing. And eventually in the future, I can see us building out our own offers, launching some stuff of our own, just building our entirely own businesses and not doing that much with clients. So that's essentially what's going on with the business right now. Next on the plan is to take over the earth, just become super world famous, build out the 8 Weapons brand, and produce lots of content with a good content system, and scale these clients to the moon while we're doing that.
Okay, very cool. So in terms of earnings, what are you comfortable revealing in terms of what you're making per month?
Yeah, so right now we make about 30,000 euros per month. That's between the 4 of us who run this business, 8 Weapons, and it could have been more than that at this point if we had, let's say, done the standard, what's it called again, the retainer model or charging per project. But we decided to take on some risks, and I mean, you have to do that if you want to go really far. So that's where we're at right now, and we're looking to scale to 6 figures, 7 figures. Intergalactic Emperor of the Universe. We've been over this.
So even with a growth model, you're still making 30,000 a month. So when that does start scaling, then yeah, sounds like it'll be insane profits.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So we have physicality update. We have some endeavors in terms of Shaolin Temple, your own company, profits from that company. Can't reveal clients too much. Okay, are you still doing anything within the real world, or have you moved on at this point?
Yeah. So the real world was amazing for me to build a foundation of marketing skill and to start getting freelancer clients to scale to a couple thousand per month. And it is through the real world also that I met my brothers and people who are really about it. And it's just a miracle that we've all gathered here. But after that foundation was built, now I'm not really in there much. It's mostly just working, just all the time. And of course, set aside some time for studying, but it's mostly other material right now.
Mm-hmm. In terms of other campuses, or you mean just other material in general?
Yeah, just other material in general, like other marketers. Like I go back
Right.
to the OGs, the people who really built marketing, or people like that, like Eugene Schwartz. I read a lot of his copy. I read a lot of his teachings. Ben Settle is pretty good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I go around the block with
Okay,
this marketing.
completely fair. Yeah, and it's still Very cool to see how far you have come from when you began
Yeah,
in the real world. Like pretty much insane life trajectory shift
yeah,
for me.
yeah. Very crazy, man. Very crazy.
Okay, so what do you have to say for where do you see your life heading in the short term, medium term, and long term?
Short term, tomorrow I'm probably gonna train like 4 hours or something, and work probably 8 hours, something like this. Right now, my life is just work and training, really, just focusing on exploiting these clients and becoming a killer as fast as possible. Training, working, training, working, training, working. That's the type of period of my life that I'm at right now. A medium term, let's say in a few months, I see us being at 6 figures per month, maybe multiple 6 figures per month, and I'll have had a few more fights. The promoter of the event said he'd get me a new fight for the 18th of next month. So that's like almost three weeks, something like this. And yeah, be having more fights. Let's say in the next year or something like that, we'll probably have 12 more fights. Aim for one every month or something. Rise up the ranks. Just earn points. Just grind. Just work hard. That's what my life is about. Just hard work. And long term, intergalactic emperor of the universe is of course like the top of the mountain. And said this in the last interview as well, that I want to have lots of kids, sons, specifically. I mean, sure, I can have daughters too, whatever. But my sons, I want to train them. I want to have warrior temples and warrior castles. And then I want to train them to become ninja samurai, like secret Shaolin monk level super fighter. And, just have like a bunch of different kids. Like one, like huge mega kid, like 100 kilo kid. Okay, he's going to be the heavyweight champion, world champion. Then I have like a normal sized kid. He can be like a middleweight world champion. And you can just create all these world champions, go out and get these belts and build this gigantic legacy that lasts for 1,000 years. That's a long-term personal plan. And I want to have these temples and the castles all over the place, like cool places like Europe, Asia, all over the world. And with my brothers, I don't see us ever switching our setup. I think we're just going to be like bigger, stronger, faster monsters in a much bigger house and with a much bigger business. And we were talking about maybe we'll have a village, because I mean, you don't want to send your kid to like school with a bunch of like dorks. They're just gonna like talk about Spider-Man and I got a new Lego set. And
And
my
the
kid
new
can be like,
Barbie movie, whatever that was about.
yeah, whatever. Like, oh, cool. Your kid got a Lego set. He likes to like build blocks. My kid is a Muay Thai fighter. He knows moving pieces. He can elbow your kid. Your kid is a bitch. So that's the long-term vision.
Okay, very respectable. And
Yeah.
I wish you all the best with that. Sounds good. I'd
Thank
like to keep doing these follow ups to see how that progresses for you
you.
as you're on that path. I think that would be cool. It would
Yeah, it's
be
fun.
ideal if it wasn't every 6 months. A bit shorter time span would be nice to
Yeah.
get better updates. But yeah, it was great speaking to you again. And I will need to wrap up. So, for my final question, since all of this began in the real world, for people who are thinking that the real world might be a scam for the $50, what advice would you have to them?
Do you think it's a scam? It's hard for me to answer because I was a very easy sell. I remember seeing the sales page and I was like, yeah, I want this. Yeah, I want to make money. I hadn't really bought any BISOP offers in the past either. I don't know why you think it's a scam. I mean, how would the most famous man on earth be able to run a scam? And I mean, it's the arguments he said multiple times and retain over 100,000 students every month. they're all just buying a scam. They're all just, let's all fund a scam together and trick this one guy who's sitting in his room. Oh, 100,000 people are all plotting against me to scam me of my $50. Bro, just get over yourself, man. Just spend the money. I spent almost $50 on chicken nuggets when I was a kid. That's my
Wait,
answer.
but inflation, how much would that cost now? Back when you were a kid, like
Bro,
40 years ago? Imagine the inflation since then.
I'm 1,000 years old. What do you mean 40
Yeah, but
years?
imagine inflation. You were using Rome coins back then, or maybe not quite.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I was using like Roman coins when
yeah.
the Roman Empire was
So
the
are they
kings
like
were.
super inflated now?
Yeah, I mean that is true. That is true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean $50 in some countries, in some situations, it can still be a lot. But would really 100,000 people try to scam you out of that? Do
It's
you
over
think that?
200,000, by the way. Just quick
Oh,
correction.
okay. Oh, I haven't checked in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, even better. Would that many people try to scam you out of your $50? Is it worth that much? I don't know. Probably not.
Okay, I need to end it, but I still want to ask a few more questions. So, since you said you were an easy sell, what kind of an
Yeah.
impact has Tate had on you, or had before, or still has?
Oh man, massive impact. I mean, I could even feel the brevity of it when I was reading one of his emails, and I felt how deeply he's impacted my life trajectory. I was reading this email, and it was about how he used to have, I think he said, Muslim friends. And one of the traits with them is that they used to pool all their money together and just like live in one house and pool their resources and work as brothers and as a team. And I remember a line from the email, even like 5 men on a money mission are way more powerful, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, that's insane. Like this, we moved into a house. Yes, that pool your money, move into one house together, 5 men on a money mission. I'm like, bro, that's fucking me. That's my life. And it's just like, that's insane. And the mindset and the brothers that I met, he's impacted my life a lot. So nothing but respect for him.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. And a final question for people who might think what you're doing is excessive in terms of all the work, all the training, everything. What do you have to say to them?
That is excessive. It's like you're working too much, you're training too much. Like you need to chill.
Yeah.
You need to go away in a sun tanning bed sometimes and recharge your energy and recharge. You think I need to recharge? Do you know how much fire and chi and fire blood I have in my veins? I don't need to recharge, bro. I get my energy on the battlefield. That's my answer.
Okay, cool. I like it. So, all right, let's wrap up. For people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
I have an Instagram, Martial Marketer. And me and my brothers, we run the business 8 Weapons, where we take on growth clients. There's a very specific type of client, as I described earlier. So, excuse me, it probably won't be a good fit, but you could check it out if you're interested in what we do. Scroll through it a little bit, see our website, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. And I'm gonna need you, as I said, to. Okay, I want to say give me your word, but no, that's no need for that. For doing a follow up with you in about 3 months, because I'd hate for it to be in another 6 months, man. Because there's so much that happens with you. You're on an insane trajectory, so we need to do these more
Yeah,
often. Because now, look, I only had 40 minutes to try dig out as much as I can. I want to make these more impactful by doing it shorter
yeah.
time frame and really going deeper.
Everyone has stuff to say. We were talking like we need a videographer here to just film us all the time. So we just walk around, talk, and we just spit gems, and we just
Exactly.
fire joy. Bro, we're just vomiting thousands of dollars out of our mouths, and it's
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's true what you're saying. We
Yep.
could aim for 3 months, and it's
Okay.
definitely fun doing this interview. So
All right. So I enjoyed it as well. Thank you, Nikolai, for your time. And
yeah, thank you
all
as
the best
well.
to you. Until next time.
Till next time, bro.